it was basically an opportunity for me to get back to my roots in hip hop, what I've done since God knows how long. I started off basically in piano. I studied that for 10 or 12 years. Then I went into keyboards, and then it turned into production. And I was making beats and rapping over them, and that's kind of where we started with Linkin Park. And then once Linkin Park took off, you know, I didn't really get a chance to get back to that. But I did learn so much with Linkin Park about production and about songwriting and about people just traveling all over the world that I wanted to, you know, in doing the Fort Minor album, I kind of used all those things that I learned and brought it full circle. I wrote it to describe kind of the artistic and whatever other kind of struggle, it's hard to describe, of what I do. You know, what makes up, what is the math behind what I do and what we do in Linkin Park. The funny thing about this song is that a lot of athletes are coming to me saying they love the song because it's the same for them, and it didn't even occur to me that that was the case. But now we've had it on, you know, it's been on basketball, NFL, Super Bowl, X Games, it's going to be on the Olympics. Like, it's so funny. That song is just completely out of control over there, and I love it because it is, you know, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that is true, you know, it really is the same struggle. Kenji is about Japanese internment during World War II. I'm half Japanese, so my family was interned at that time. They basically were taken, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, U.S. government, there was a sense of like paranoia that went on, and they basically pulled families out of their homes with a duffel bag worth of clothing or whatever, and sent them off to live in camps for the duration of the war. So the story of the song Kenji is pretty much my family's story during that period. On a side note, the song Kenji actually has been kind of honored in the Japanese American community a little bit. I just received an award from the Japanese American Museum, and I think that song was a big part of that. The museum, the president stands behind the song as, like she says, it's an accurate representation of what happened. So that to me is a huge success for a little song, you know. The title of the album is The Rising Tide, and the reason I named it that is simply because it's in reference to the group of people that are on the album. You know, this Tide group of people, including John Legend, Common, Black Thought, Styles of Beyond, Holly Brook, and a number of other people. With Jay-Z as an executive producer, this Tide group of people is kind of rising up together within the context of the record. I think it would have been easier for me if I had just gone out and said, you know, Mike Shinoda and put my face on the cover and gone that route. But the reason I chose Fort Minor and artwork for the cover instead of a picture is because I wanted to I wanted to put the focus on the music. You know, Fort represents the more heavy or aggressive side of it. Minor is the darker, smaller side. You know. And I chose the name because I just thought it kind of stood for what the album is about. The artwork as well is I did a series of 10 paintings. I helped design the package, and to me, just because it kind of comes from me, in the same way that the music does, it just kind of naturally has my personality in it. What I wanted to do with the guests on the record was limit the guest list to just people that I already knew. And the reason that was an issue is that, like, with Linkin Park stuff, that my lyrics are generally more like universally personal, but this record is individually personal. Like, it's really, like, these stories are really just for me. And because of that, if I was going to have somebody else on the song and they don't know me, then it just seemed to me like the song will be disjointed. So basically, I just kept, I called friends of mine, and that's how all the little cameos and the other verses came into play. I guess the only person I didn't really know well was John Legend, and we kind of met during the process of the album. And everybody else I was already friends with for anywhere from a couple of years to Styles of Beyond. We've been friends for like 10 years.